So, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. This is episode number 38 on Friday the 17th of September 2021. This episode is entitled Back to the Office. So, hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Jonnychipz Weekly, episode number 38, Back to the Office. So, I've entitled it that for the obvious reason that I actually went back to the office in person and met real people this week, which was pretty cool. Like I say, this is episode number 38. Going to stick to the similar format that we've been doing these videos over the last 9 months. Can you believe it's been that long at the moment? It's flown by, absolutely flown by. So, yeah, without further ado, let's jump on over and take a look at the community call-outs for this week. So first things first, if you haven't yet registered for Microsoft Ignite, November the 2nd to the 4th, registration is now open. I registered the other day. Head on over to the myignite.microsoft.com webpage, get yourselves all registered up. You can use your LinkedIn, your Microsoft account, whatever it is. Just get yourself registered. Because it's a virtual event again, for this particular one, it's a free registration, so you can get access to all that fantastic virtual content and networking capability and opportunity, and really just good fun. So highly recommend, if you haven't already, go and get registered on the Microsoft Ignite virtual session. Moving on, yes, Cloud Summit has been going on for the last few days. This week it started up. It's 10 days worth of fantastic community content. So sessions, right the way across the board, really, of Azure. It is an Azure-focused event. So you've got some fantastic community speakers, people from Microsoft giving fantastic talks. Head on over to Cloud Summit Live on Twitter. Go and follow the links as they post them out. Like I say, there's about 10 days worth of content, and I believe it started around about the 13th, so it's been running now for 4 or 5 days. I think we might be on day 5. This was a post from last night, so yeah, I think it's day 5 that we're on at the moment. So go and check that out, get involved, and consume that content, because it's fantastic. We are still in the month of September, therefore it is still the Azure Back to School event. Day 17 is today, so we've got some content around Azure Sentinel and Policy as Code from Jesse Luden and Casey Molyneux. So go and check that out. It's if you've not come across the Back to School event, it's basically a whole month of September worth of content. So we've got 31 days. He's finishing on the 1st of October with a bit of a closeout session. But you can see there's a fantastic amount of content in there. And like I say, today we are on the 17th. So there you can go and click that link, go and check that content out. And yeah, drop some feedback. Let people know what you think of the sessions as well, because feedback is always welcomed at these events. So yeah, huge thanks to Dwayne Natwick for organising the Azure Back to School event. If you want to check it out, then browse on over to that URL there. azureback2school.tech is a shortened version, or you can go azureback2school.github.io. So yeah, thanks for that, Dwayne, and yeah, looking forward to having a look at that content a bit later. And in other news from a conference perspective, the Azure Community Conference of 2021, which will be going ahead on the 29th to the 31st of October this year, is open for registration. It's open for call for speakers. If you are interested, browse on over to azconf.dev. Take a look at that, get registered, get involved. Lots of cracking content going on, I'm sure. So over 5,000 participants, over 100 sessions, 10 plus workshops, and lots of community involvement on that one. So go and check that out, azconf.dev. In exam news, yes, this caught my eye. I got wind of this a few days back now, but Oren Thomas posted this out around some hybrid exams. So if you're familiar with the roles-based certification from Microsoft, then you'll know that it's very much been cloud-focused over the last, many years actually, since they moved over from the old format into this roles-based certification. But we're finally getting some hybrid certification all around Windows Server. So if you cast your mind back, if you did do exams before this iteration of roles-based certs, you'll remember that we had those typical exam certifications. Well, they brought them back. We've got AZ800 and AZ801, which is looking at all things server, hybrid, and server. So, you know, back to the traditional services that we may be used to running on Windows Server, we're going to get exams for them. So I believe they're looking to release the beta before the end of the year. So probably December time we'll have those out in beta, you know, and going generally available shortly thereafter into 2022. So yeah, really excited. That's now on my to-do list of study, and get ready to swat up for those exams. So yeah, if you're interested, go and check that out. In other news, yes, big shout out to Charlie. So Charlie Goff has actually released a study guide for the SC300, that Microsoft Identity and Access Admin exam. If you are interested, go and check that out. Follow Charlie on Twitter with his handle of GetOffMeLand. I didn't notice that before, Charlie. That's quite a chuckle. So yeah, go and check that out. Go and follow Charlie. Have a look at his study guide. And I'm sure that's going to be of huge use to you. So, yeah, thanks for putting that together for us, Charlie. Yes, Shabazz Dar is starting a new video series all around Nerdio, so that management platform and product for Azure Virtual Desktop. I've seen a number of demos of Nerdio over the last sort of year, 18 months. It's a fantastic product, especially if you are either using AVD or contemplating shifting over and consuming AVD services. Yeah, it's not far off a no-brainer in terms of the management capabilities that this product offers. So Shabazz has started a new video series this week. So go and follow Shabazz either on Twitter, head on over, subscribe to his YouTube channel, so you'll obviously get notifications when he releases those episodes. So he's got his introduction video that he released this week. Stay tuned for more. I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Okay. Yes, this caught my eye. So Cliff actually launched his new Twitch channel. So Clifford Aegis on twitch.tv. This, I mean, technically it's not cloud tech, but it is to do with the cloud. So it's, you know, it's more than welcome. This is Cloud Talk, remember. So Cliff's actually a pilot. For those that don't know Cliff, go and follow him. He's an absolutely fantastic member of the community. He's a really knowledgeable guy in the world of IoT and dev, and, well, to be honest, lots of different areas. And you know, he's a great, all-round great guy. But as he's a pilot, he's been mentioning this on and off over the last few months, but he's actually going to be building his own aircraft. Yes, you heard that right. He's building his own aircraft. So he's actually going to not just build it, but he's going to stream that build out over Twitch. So I thought that was something that, you know, you don't really get to see that very often. And I thought that was a really cool thing. So head on over, sign up, follow Cliff's new twitch.tv channel there at twitch.tv/Clifford Aegis. And yeah, go and check that out. I'm really intrigued. I'm really looking forward to hopefully it's going to be on at a time that I can watch it back and kind of engage and see what Cliff's up to there. But yeah, something different in the cloud space. I hope you'll agree. So yeah, go and check that out. My good friend Matt Fatunka and co-organiser of the Welsh Azure user group. Yeah, he's been getting back into his blogging lately, and I've seen some really cool blog articles that he's actually written up and put out there. So, you know, if you are in that kind of Azure app dev space, Matt is a hugely knowledgeable guy, and he's doing some fantastic articles now at the moment. I've just picked on this one here. So he's done one on deploying API management using GitHub Actions and getting those deployed. And yeah, he's been dropping a few of these articles lately, so I just wanted to call him out. So if you are in that space, go and give Matt a follow on Twitter. His handle is @memleak. Go and give him a follow, join in, have a little look-see, because there's some fantastic information in there. So yeah, thanks for that, Matt. And yeah, finally, you know, no episode would be complete without my mentioning of Pete Gallagher. So yeah, first up, so Pete has been doing some fantastic work with the Azure Percept Dev Kit. Go and check that out if you've not seen it before. But he's doing a show on the 20th of September with the .NET Doc show on home automation using that Percept Dev Kit. Not to be missed. I've seen elements of this where he's done some work with Paul DiCarlo. He did some stuff, I think, for the Reactor series not too long ago. that isn't to be missed. It's fantastic to see that. And equally, Peter's been getting back into his blogging lately, and he actually mentioned this one to me again yesterday. I saw it come out, had a quick skim read, and just something I was talking to Peter around on the Knots IoT user group last night. He actually reminded me that he had this blog article, which is around configuring and virtualizing IoT edge data and metrics that you might be streaming from those devices, but not using the traditional capabilities that you might think is your monitor and things like that, but using Prometheus. I'll speak properly, and Grafana for dashboarding and things like that. So go and check that out. It's a really detailed blog post. I am going to follow it through and take a look at exactly, kind of what the benefits are. I've not read this article fully yet to understand, how it kind of fits in with, using any other tooling that might be available within Azure compared to Prometheus or Grafana. But yeah, I'm going to go and check that out. So there's our community call out for the week. Let's head back on over to my big camera. Okay, yes, I still haven't got used to pressing those buttons. So, I think what we'll do now is that we'll just head back over to the desktop and we'll talk about what's been going on in the world of Jonnychipz on the side this week. Let's go and check that out. Okay, so first things first, huge thanks to everybody that has actually viewed any of my blog articles or shared or followed or commented. It really is appreciated. I hit the 50,000 views milestone this week, which was pretty cool. Now, I keep track on what my viewer count is doing it on and off over the last year or so. And yeah, you can see that it takes this little uphill trend, and the more content you put out there, the more views that you get and things like that. But yeah, it was really cool to see 50,000 views. Thanks everybody for kind of supporting me in this journey over the last year or so now. It's really appreciated. So yeah, quite chuffed that I hit that milestone. So yeah, thank you everybody. In other news, it is Friday, so we've got another episode of In Conversation With airing tonight. But just big shout out again to Sam Rowe. If you've not watched this episode, last week Sam joined me and we talked about the concept of developer velocity. We talked about some of the tooling that's available to be honest, to developers or non-developers to kind of get things up and running as quickly as possible. So we talked code spaces, we talked GitHub Copilot, which is that kind of AI pair programmer, effectively that little nudge in the side when you're trying to do some coding, to give you some examples, hints, tips, things like that. Really cool session. If you've not watched that, go and head on over to the YouTube channel and check that out. Take a look at that and let us know what you think. But like I say, it is another Friday. There is another episode going out tonight. There's just a little screenshot. That's actually what we got to with Sam. So deployed that really from comments. Go and check out the video. You probably won't believe it. But go and take a look at that. But yeah, sorry. Back to we've got another episode going out tonight. So I had the pleasure and privilege of joining Lippy Sarkar and chatting to Lippy about a new book that she's got released with a co-author, Vinny. That's out now, and we talk all about digital transformation and sort of Lippy's journey into how she helps customers and businesses understand that cloud adoption and the principles of moving and shifting services into cloud services. What does it actually mean? How do you actually get started? All those good things. So that's going out tonight, 6:30 BST. It'll be streamed across the platform. So we've got Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. Go and check that out. Go and jump on over to my blog. You'll get all the links there in the blog. And there's a link to the book that Lippy's got out at the moment. Like I say, that's it's a fantastic book. I've managed to read a few of the chapters. Go and check it out. And yeah, stay tuned for that episode launching tonight. In other things this week, I had the pleasure to join up with another couple of guests that are coming in future episodes of In Conversation With. But the amazing Wesley Hartman, had a fun chat with Wesley around app modernization. So stay tuned for that. That'll be out in a week's time. And also Maria Anastasia. So, Maria's been around the community now for a fair while and she's been doing some fantastic things. So great to have a chat with Maria Anastasia and see what she's been up to in her journey. She landed her first job, which was absolutely fantastic to see. Yeah, great chat, really great person, doing some fantastic things. That's going to be out, and we've got a little bit of time to wait there. It's not going to be out until the 1st of October. Starting to get a bit of a backlog with these videos, which is cool. Thank you to everybody that agrees to come and have a chat with me. So yeah, been really fun and exciting week this week for recording some of that content. Also, yes, last night I had the pleasure again of being a speaker on Nottingham IoT, so Nots IoT. I was on talking about the amazing Paul DiCarlo end-to-end solution that he took me through on his video series, looking at the NVIDIA Jetson Nano device and using that for AI object detection at the edge and streaming that all through Azure services like IoT Hub and using things like time series insights and Power BI to visualize some of that data. So yeah, if you did miss that, then go and head over to Nots IoT. It's up on the YouTube channels there somewhere. In fact, I've actually got a link below. If you find it there under Cloud Family, you should be able to see that video if you want to have a little watch back of that. So yeah, that was good fun. That was really good fun this week. Also, back last Friday after I did the last episode, Pierre and Jared invited me on to the Testing in Production podcast, where we chatted around all the cool new tech that Elgato sent me a couple of weeks back now. So it was a good fun session where we explored the capabilities of the face cam and of course this microphone, the Wave 3 microphone from Elgato. If you're not following the guys on Twitter, the Test in Prodcast is their handle. They got the Twitters, they got the YouTube. So if you follow the Patch and Switch channel, which it's Friday, so hopefully they'll be back on. I know they've had a little bit of a hiatus, and I think probably for the same reason that we all have, been just feels that we're back to the office now in certain respects. We're starting to, things are getting busier. Maybe there's slight focus coming away from the socials a little bit. That's the general feeling I'm seeing at the minute, which is completely understandable. So, but if you do follow them, go and check that out, and hopefully they'll be back on tonight. So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, and like I say, back to the office. That's the title of this video. I actually managed to get up to Birmingham. So BT have got a whole new series of hubs across the country and managed to get into Snow Hill. So 3 Snow Hill, huge, nice, big, modern building in the centre of Birmingham. Proper mod cons in there in terms of the office space and, nice, neat office rooms. There's my colleague there, Mr. Murray Ferris and Mr. Miller. So yeah, it was a really good fun experience. Like I say, I had to change my trousers and everything. It's been a while. Anyway, that's the end of it. That's been Jonnychipz Weekly. Jonnychipz Weekly, Jonnychipz on the side. Let's get back to Big Face. Okie dokie, I think we shall browse on over now and we'll have a look at the... let's just take a little reminder of what's going on for the Welsh Azure user group. I can't speak this morning. I don't know what's going on. My mouth is all tied up together. I'm mispronouncing words. So let's head back over to the desktop and let's take a look at what's going on in the world of the Welsh Azure user group. The Welsh Azure User Group. I want to say Azure News. That's what I was going to do, the Azure News, but I'm not. I'm doing the Welsh Azure. Quick reminder. In-person event, hybrid event. Going to be an interesting event, nonetheless. Not just because we've got 2 fantastic speakers, but because it's going to be the first time I've met up with a lot of people in person. We're down in Cardiff in the tram shed from about 6 o'clock, starting around 6:30, but it's going to be a hybrid event. So if you can't make it in person, not to worry. RSVP, fingers crossed there's not going to be any technical challenges, but we're aiming to still hold the Teams call as usual. And hopefully, maybe we'll see how we go. Hopefully we'll be able to stream that out as well, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm not going to promise anything because, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a technical challenge, and it's just about how much time I've got when I get down there to set things up and actually make that work. So, like I say, we've got Chris Reddington, we've got Kirk Ryan coming down in person to come and say hello to us. Huge privilege and an honour to have those guys coming down to say hello and kick off the first in-person Welsh Azure User Group event. So I'm really excited, really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's on the 29th, so 29th of September. Jump on over to the Welsh Azure Twitter feed, find that link, RSVP to the meetup. You'll either get the link for the Teams meeting, or you can just fill in a little form, let us know that you're coming in person. We are limited spaces, unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, but it'd be fantastic to have you there if you can come in person. It's going to be an interesting night, and hopefully we'll get the beer and the pizzas in there as well, which makes it all worthwhile. So yeah, that was it. Just a quick reminder of what's going on the Welsh Azure side of things. Okie dokie. So, final section of the show. I think what we will do is let's do the Azure news and updates. And since last week, I still haven't managed to relocate my buttons, so I have to glance down all the time. Got to work that out. I still got to work it out. Just need some time to do it. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this week's Azure news and updates. Let's head on over right now. So hello, and yes, welcome to the Azure news and updates. No roving reporters this week. Like I say, we're all busy. We're getting back to work. We're doing things in and around the remote office, but equally there's a lot more getting back out and on the road again. So without further ado, we've got quite a lot of announcements this week on the lead up to Ignite. Obviously, there's lots of preview features coming out now, arguably for sessions coming in Ignite. Lots of things going on. So I'm going to rattle through them. We've probably got about a dozen or so news items coming up. I'm not going to dig into them in too much detail other than comment on things as we go, but let's kick it off. Azure VMware Solution has got FedRAMP high authorization status. We've got in preview Jetstream disaster recovery of Azure VMware Solution has now gone into public preview. Like I say, there's been a few announcements around VMware, the AVS, the Azure VMware Solution. We've got the AMA, so the Azure Monitor Agent, the DCRs, the Data Collection Rules, now support Server 2022. Another preview is public preview of V4 Cosmos DB extensions for that Azure function. We've got a GA Azure Red Hat OpenShift support for OpenShift 4.8 is now available. We've got a few AKS announcements and public preview things coming out now. So custom policy definitions for AKS clusters. We've got this concept of scale down mode now in AKS rather than just deallocating and removing services. It actually deallocates rather. So if you'd like their node to be deleted or deallocated when scales down, when a node is deallocated, the attached storage as well as the container image is still kept and still present to enable that quick return to service if you need that scale capability again. AKS run command has now gone generally available. We've got a bunch of SQL announcements, so generally available updates for mid-September. So Azure Managed Instance is now available under the Azure resource in Terraform registry. So that's pretty cool. So take a look at that in Terraform if you are doing that infrastructure as code piece. Azure Database for Postgres is available Japan West. More Postgres, Citus 10.1 has gone generally available. More Postgres, 11.13, 12.8 and 13.4 minor versions is supported by Hyperscale Citus. And then Azure Cosmos DB in preview announcement, Azure Functions extension version 4.0's public preview. That was very similar to that announcement earlier, wasn't it? Okay, so Azure Machine Learning public preview announcements in September, so the ability to use private endpoints for that machine learning capability. So if you've got some complicated or advanced networking requirements to use the ML platform, then things like private endpoint, that's now in public preview, so that might give you that answer that you might be looking for, which is pretty cool to see. And finally, GA of some Azure IoT Central news. So I think just looking at this, they've added this kind of pop-up card, so you can kind of interact with devices and things like that through the IoT Central applications that you might build. So some great news and updates for this week. So without further ado, that has been the news for this week. Let's head back on over. So there we go. Whistle Stop Tour still managed to hit the 25-minute mark. But yeah, huge thanks to all the community call-outs, all the people that are doing fantastic work in the community this week. Keep it coming. Really is appreciated. Like I say, I've had a hugely busy week again, but fun. Lots of things crammed into the week. Go and check that out. Please do stay tuned for tonight's episode of In Conversation With. If you can, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be hugely appreciated. But for now, this has been episode number 38 of Jonnychipz Weekly. I will see you all next week. Thanks for now. If I can find my end button, I will. See you later.